Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching this right around the world, because we are back here at the Red Bull Ring for the Austrian Grand Prix here in PRL Season 9, as I'm currently in P11 as we take a look at my final qualifying run through to complete the lap and up to P6, but it wouldn't be good enough for P6, as you'll see shortly when we take a look at the final qualifying results. And in fact, Danny actually set an exact same lap time as me, which is a little bit strange because she was actually in P7 at this stage. But anyway, as we take a look at the final results then on the grid, Maznat with a very good pole position. Jacko just a whisker behind him before Craig 6/10 back from Honest Crook. 5th was Wayno, 6th and 7th the two Force Indias. And I'll be having plenty to do with Nemo during this race, as we will see shortly. And like I mentioned, Danny in 8th, just ever so slightly ahead of me because she set the fastest time first, or the faster time first. As Kidbyers in 9th, Heiberg, HSV, a bad qualifying for him, and my teammate in 13th, and the pesky rascals at the back electing not to go out in qualifying. They elected to start on a fresh set of tyres for the start of this race. And your commentator for the Austrian Grand Prix, as per usual, is Kidbyers, as we get ready to head to the starting grid. Always a very eventful race here. The off chance of a safety car, you never know what can happen. So P9, Danny ahead of me in P8. The two Force Indias further up as the lights go out. And we are away for the Austrian Grand Prix here in PRL. Not a bad start, a bit better than Nemo, as Nemo comes across to cover off Danny heading into turn 1. And I go in a little bit too hot. Danielson loses, Honest Crook, and the other Toro Rosso lost the back end, spun around. Nemo went into him, and then I went back into the back of Nemo after hitting him a first time. As we take a look at the replay, I go in too hot, lose my front wing end plate. Honest Crook it was in the Toro Rosso, spins around, Nemo goes into him, and I go into the back of Nemo. So now with the car understeering like an absolute pig, it was time to go into the pits as we stuck with it. I chose to stay out, lap 1 of course. And HSV, a little bit of contact there as well. The two Ferraris getting very friendly with each other as Jeff elected to ask me whether I wanted to change the strategy at this stage as I drag HSV down. And I can't quite get by him. I am on the quicker tyre, but I've got damage. But it turned out that HSV also had damage as well as we come through lap 1. Currently in P10, a bit of a train forming, and you can see there the understeer was very real as Waters goes through in the Williams. So currently falling down the grid, I elected to stay on the same strategy, but I would come into the pits in the not too distant future because I was just losing too much time. And you can see there over the sausage banana curves or whatever they're called, Jacko setting the fastest lap of the race straight away as I elect to tell Jeff that I'm coming into the pit lane, and indeed I did. Here we go into the pits then. Brand new front wing waiting for me with the McLaren pit crew. On go the super soft tyres, off come the Ultras. Come on boys, get on with it. So into the pits for a new front wing, down to P14. And it was a very lonely race down at the back. But I hope they had plenty of front wings ready because I was not done there in the front wing department, let me tell you, as we'll see further on again. So out into P15. And surprise, surprise, my old mate Nemo, as I get DRS here, behind Nemo, looking to take P13, lap 6 out of 36, onto the grass slightly, but down the inside, who can brake later? Oh, I think I touched him slightly there, but through up into P13, so a rare on-track pass in this Austrian Grand Prix for Kidbyers and the McLaren team. But Nemo wasn't done with yet, and unfortunately, I've got to say, the incident at turn 1 was my fault, as is this incident coming up. We'll see here. I get it all wrong coming through the last part of the lap into the last corner. So you can see Nemo there, still very interested behind me. Look at this. I go too far into the corner, over those curbs again, losing the rear end, then back onto the track, and wham! Boy, did I need to adjust the strategy after that. Totally my fault, and I'm really sorry for Nemo, almost ruining Nemo's race after what happened at turn 1, as it was just a job to get it back on the track, really, isn't it? So through to lap 7, and we'll take another look at a replay here, the slow motion replay. You can see here I go off and come back on right into the path of Nemo. Very clumsy, very un-Kidbyers-like, you'd have to say. But then again, I was a bit rusty. I hadn't played the game for a couple of weeks. And here come the excuses. Now, oh, look at that. It understeers like a pig. Again, so, well, get those wings ready, boys. Well, I take it all back. I thought I was coming into the pit lane. Well, I did come back into the pit lane there, but we're fast forwarded to lap 35. I was a lap down. Nothing else happened, folks. Not one thing happened before the end of this race. And I trailed HSV home, who was in 10th place, and the final points paying position as I come across the line to finish an absolute disaster of a race in this PRL Austrian Grand Prix. No points. And Alex finishing in front of me on track as we take a look at Honest Crook, who still must have been on the lead lap in the Toro Rosso, just outside of the points as he comes through the last corner to complete the race. And Alex must have also been a lap down as well. So there we go, across the line, P13 in the Austrian Grand Prix. My teammate in P12. And that was a pretty good result for him too. The first time he'd finished ahead of me on track in the races where we both competed so far this year. And there they are. Look at them. All three of them. Jacko, Maz, and Kart Dude with his black avatar. Which creeps me out every time, but we don't want to be racist at all here on the PRL Kidbyers highlight reel. And look at that. Those boys are happy. So are the Sauber team. They're happy every week, and they're happy again as we take a look at the final results. Jacko winning from Maznat. Kart Dude in third. Good result from Danny from 8th on the grid up to 4th. Waters in the Williams in 5th from P15. Wayno 6th. Boz 7th. Heiberg 8th. 9 as we go down the list. HSV, who made a place up in the end. Craig in 10th, the last points paying position. Honest Rook 11th. My teammate 12th. And 13th ahead of me, but a very sad day for McLaren. And we'll see you next week. That's all we've got time for this week, guys and girls. We'll see you next week for Silverstone.